as women register in unprecedented numbers to vote in the midterms, clearly energized by the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The new term of the Supreme Court is almost upon us, and with the court facing unprecedented scrutiny. Many women in particular are questioning the legitimacy of the conservative majority's decisions. Joining us now is Dahlia Lithwick, the senior legal correspondent at Slate, and her new book is Lady Justice: Women, the Law, and the Battle to Save America. And what a book it is, with the pink cover. So we're all in pink today. Actually not planned, but we'll just say it's planned.
I'm going to say it was planned.
We'll say it's planned.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
So your book it's an extraordinary history of women lawyers, women judges, women Supreme Court justices, and the way women have been affected, both empowered and disempowered by decisions of the court. Going all the way back to 1873, was it, when the Supreme Court ruled that women could not be lawyers?
Right, because we're delicate.
Yeah, and I remember an era when my friends were all becoming lawyers and were not allowed to wear pants. Right? There was a dress code if you're addressing the court. So you begin the court with this extraordinary day, this oral argument in the Hellerstedt case. Texas Solicitor General arguing for Texas on new restrictions placed on abortion, 2016, I think it was. Tell me about what you called the last truly great day in the Supreme Court.
It was a day that felt like we were so close that after centuries of trying to achieve not even parity, something close to parity, the idea that finally you had 3 women on the bench and you had women oral advocates and nobody was going to silence these women. There's an amazing moment in the audio where Ruth Bader Ginsburg more or less gently turns to Chief Justice John Roberts and says, "You're going to give her a little more time now." And John Roberts goes, "Okay, a little more time." And it's just this moment of women, their power, their identity, their stories are being told at the court. And for me, it just felt like this triumphal, we're close. We're not there, but we're close. And then Justice Stephen Breyer, who I always think of as really the fourth radical feminist in that opinion, writes this opinion that is so solicitous of women's health, their interests, their families, their economic interests. He says, no more lying. If you're going to close clinics, you can't do it with the pretext that you're putting their health first. It's an amazing day. And then it all, within a few months, falls away.
And then we have Texas leading the way in these extraordinary restrictions. The bounty system, all the rest.
Yeah, one year
years.
ago, that SB 8, that vigilante bill, was blessed by the Supreme Court in the shadow docket without real reasoning. 1 year ago, if you were reading the tea leaves, it was clear that the court was going to nullify Roe, and they were going to do it without even regard for who was being harmed. And so, yeah, it happened so fast. And you're right, Texas has been at the vanguard of making sure that it happened really, really without any real doctrinal thinking or work.
So looking forward to the new court term, what are your concerns? What are your hopes as you look at the cases coming before the court?
I mean, the court is, as you said in your intro, in trouble. It has the most shockingly low approval ratings since the history of polling. And last year, it had the lowest approval ratings since the history of polling until this year. It's going into a term where affirmative action is on the docket, the follow-on to the cake baker case of someone who doesn't want to participate in gay weddings. It has huge election cases coming before it, including a case that I think doesn't get enough attention about essentially handing all power to state legislatures to determine how elections go. So there's almost nothing that isn't on the docket. And, as you said, the court enters this with a public that is deeply, deeply worried and concerned that the court is just a political beast. So there's a lot going on, and I think it's going to be another hard term for the court in terms of the public's respect and regard for the institution.
The only change is that for years, Republicans were, if you will, Republicans who were against abortion, against free choice, were single-issue voters. Republicans voted for Supreme Court justices, and Democrats did not seem mobilized for the court to be an issue. But it certainly seems, looking at Kansas and the registration of women, that that's changing now.
I think that June in the Dobbs case was a big, big wake-up call, not just for women. I think for a lot of people who had mollified themselves that the court was never going to do this, it was too much, it was too soon. All of the Trump nominees had said that Roe was super precedent. So a lot of people were shocked, I think deeply shocked. And a lot of people, as you say, are now looking around and saying, do I want to sort of live under a 9-person juristocracy where I have no power to effectuate my will? And a lot of people, I think, are very, very worried that Dobbs is just the beginning of the erosion of privacy rights.
Well, Dahlia Lithwick, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here.